All right, let's move on and get you more details. Those are the visuals coming in of the Prime Minister arriving in the national capital after attending the G20 Leaders Summit and holding bilateral meetings with various world leaders in Johannesburg, where the G20 Summit took place. Prime Minister Modi met with the Canadian counterpart, Japanese Prime Minister, Italian Premier, South African President and the counterparts from Netherlands as well. He called there for a global compact to prevent misuse of AI, made a strong pitch for critical tech to be human-centric instead of finance-centric. Prime Minister at the G20 Summit said that technology applications should be global rather than national and based on an open source rather than exclusive models. And those are the visuals coming in of the Prime Minister after that successful G20 Summit. There he held a lot of bilateral meetings with the various top leaders and met with the Canadian counterpart, with the Japanese Prime Minister, with the Italian Prime Minister, South African President there as well. Let me go across to our consulting editor, Srinjoy Chaudhary. Srinjoy, we're getting in visuals of the Prime Minister landing here in the national capital after that successful G20 Summit. Put it into perspective for our viewers how successful the G20 Summit this time was, and what message did the Prime Minister give there?
Regardless of whether the Americans were there or not, and it became a G19, it was an important event, and it provided continuity and also a little bit of change. First of all, the South points about sustainable development came up, and that's particularly important because countries which have hosted the G20, whether it's Indonesia, India, Brazil, South Africa, are from the South, and they have made their point very clear. This was the first G20 in Africa, a very notable issue. Besides that, climate change played a very important role. And as you rightly said, new technologies, and these have to be used in an effective way by not just one country or two countries, but the whole world. More importantly, Prime Minister has also had bilaterals, and the issue of terror came up. We know that terror financing was a major subject that came up during the discussions. We also know that Prime Minister had a very good meeting with President Lula of Brazil, and that meeting is particularly important. Let's not forget that there are two countries which face 50% tariff from the United States, and they are India and Brazil. So a lot had to be discussed there as well. So it was a successful visit to South Africa, a very successful one, and the PM, of course, is back. But India's points were made very clearly by the Prime Minister.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Srinjoy, for all the details. Prime Minister Modi is back in the country after the successful G20 Summit in Johannesburg in South Africa. Thanks so much for all the details.